So, George, let's now get right to this matchup. Everyone eager to see how the Braves will try to contain Sierra Canyon's electrifying junior, Amari Bailey.
Well, Mike, Sierra Canyon, as you mentioned, is coming off their first undefeated season in the program's history. And Amari Bailey has been a big part of that, averaging 28 points per game. And he broke earlier this season SC's single-game scoring record previously held by Marvin Bagley. This has been his season. So for Bosco to neutralize him, they need to slow him down. He thrives on that quick play, on that transition-like offense that Sierra Canyon loves to use. And that starts from the get-go with press defense, which Bosco, like SC, loves to use early in games.
So, as we're talking about Amari Bailey, and that we can expect a lot of different types of defenses to try to contain the superstar for the Trailblazers, Bosco brings in a very talented defense, one that's able to play a variety of defenses, as their coach Matt Dunn told us, now in his 6th season. Of course, before being the coach at St. Bosco, he was 12 years spent at Damien, building them into a powerhouse team in the city of Laverne. Now, he's a bit upset that his team was given the 8th seed, particularly because, one, they open up the playoffs against the number 1 seed and the 3-time Southern Section champion Trailblazers. But on the other hand, it also means for the 3 games in the pool, they don't get any games at home. And he's a little upset about that, and some people think justifiably so, considering that they knocked off Mater Dei, which is in the B pool, but they're seeded number 3.
Yes, I asked Dunn if he's using that as motivation, and he sort of said that the team already has a lot of motivation going into these games, and that he just wants his players to focus on picking up the W tonight.
So in addition to Amari Bailey, the other 2 main scoring options for Sierra Canyon would come in the manner of junior Shai Odom and also junior Mel Lloyd Jr., as both of those scoring around 20 points per game. And certainly for Shai Odom, he has improved all facets of his game, from his ball handling, shooting, passing, and in particular his rebounding. And we think that rebounding is going to be one of the keys, I think, that you have written down, George, for tonight's outcome.
Yes, rebounding is a big one. That is the first key to the game tonight. Sort of 2 litmus tests that I think are really going to define who's going to win this game. The first of which is win the battle of the boards. Both teams love the offensive rebounds, and Bosco in particular thrives on those second chance points and needs those to keep this game competitive. Just knowing Bosco's playing style, the smash mouth basketball, it's going to be hard fought, one in the trenches, gritty, scrappy kind of game in the paint. And the second sort of litmus test is to get your supporting cast involved. As we've seen throughout the season, great teams such as these take away your best weapons. And so in the event that happens, you need to have other guys contribute. For SC, guys like Lloyd, Rasul, and Ryan Grandy. And for Bosco, that's guys like Hunter Richardson and their very underestimated 6th man in Ray King.
So we'll see, too, as far as the pace of this game, because for the most part, the Trailblazers have been averaging in the mid to high 80s in terms of total points. As far as the Braves go, they'd be delighted if this game was determined somewhere in the mid to high 50s, which would certainly indicate that they haven't given in to the will of the Trailblazers and the speed type of game that they love to play. So we're just about getting ready to get this thing going. Our head referee for tonight's contest is Mark DeBose. And a lot more people here in the crowd, as some of the protocols for COVID are slowly getting lessened than they were in previous weeks. Remember when we first started playing basketball here at Sierra Canyon this season, it was a girls' game, and believe it or not, it was myself and a reporter for the LA Times that were the only people outside of the teams that were in the gym. We're going to hear some noise in tonight's game, that's for sure.
Definitely, and a lot of teams at all levels have really had to talk about what it's like after a year, being with fans again, having that atmosphere, having that home court advantage at all levels. In fact, maybe 2 minutes before we went on the air, I checked Nesson, and I saw the Boston Bruins were dealing with that exact same thing, coming back to TD Garden to host the Isles at full capacity. And so that is a perfect example of the exact same thing that Sierra Canyon has to deal with, going from really only 2 people, yourself and Eric Sonheimer, as you mentioned, to having 2 people per player, to now having fans independent of each team and each player here to see some great basketball tonight.